If you've ever imagined of starting your own housing program, there is no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. Welcome, everybody, and welcome to the live broadcast. Don't wait to be great. I am your host, Mr. Derek Forston, and we are live right here on our YouTube channel at Forston Consultants, but we're also live on TikTok, and I'm trying to get my TikTok people to come over. So my name is Derek Forston. Again, they call me Mr. ILF. My wife and I, we're so smart that we decided to trademark independent living facility. So we're the trademark holders and the creators of the independent living facility model. Shay, tell the people who you are and what you do.
So good evening, everybody. I am Shanya Shea Forston, the president and founder of the Angela Denise Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that operates an ILF, or an independent living facility for women, utilizing the ILF model under a nonprofit organization structure. So that's who I am. That's what we do. Let us go get a sound check in really quickly. If you can hear us loud and clear, go ahead and let us know in the chat. Listen, super excited today. Derek and I have had a long day, guys. So we do not plan to be before you long. We don't plan to. Derek is a little sniffly and a little raspy in the vocals. So I'm going to try and keep him. Yeah,
I sound a little weird today, but y'all give me a mic check. Make sure that you guys can hear me loud and clear. Like Shay said, I got some sinus problems going on today, so I think it's that pollen. But let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Shay?
Yeah, so I got some yeps coming through. So super excited about tonight. We're just going to share with you some things that have been going on, what we've been doing, what we've been seeing in the space of, the ILF, or the independent living facility model. For those of you that are in our private community, you'll see that I sent out an image today. Not an image. I forwarded a message that my virtual assistant sent to me in regards to some funding that is available for people that need rental assistance in our Central Florida area and the community. Fun fact about this, and this is something that Derek and I talk a lot about. So it's about funding or community funded programs. So this community funded program has some funds, Derek, that they've got to pretty much come off of by the end of June. So if they don't use it, they will lose it. So when they go to reapply for that grant again, because they have a surplus or they have an overage in those funds that they were unable to utilize during the time period that they had associated or placed on their grant, they will no longer be able to receive that amount of funding. So whatever funding is left over, they'll either have to return or it's minimized on their next grant cycle. What a lot of people don't realize is these community programs are obligated to utilize every dollar, every cent, every penny of these funds before the time frame is up. And if they don't, again, they do omit themselves from being able to receive those funds in that amount or in totality. They may not be able to get that. So I did put it in our private community. So for those of you that are joining us that are in the ILF Family Talk chat, check it out. There's also a link if you are in the Central Florida area that you can go ahead and see if you can get some funding for some of your residents or that are in need of some rental help, rental assistance. They'll be able to help you navigate that space. But the great thing about it is seeing that there are funds that are still available, even in some of these, some of their fiscal year is close to ending. So being able to see that they're this far towards the end of their fiscal year and still have funding that they need to get up off of, that's a good
It's a good problem to have when we're
but
on the receiving end of that as the
correct.
people that are offering the
Yeah.
housing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really comfortable today. I'm slouched down in my chair and everything, y'all. Please forgive me. We've had a long day, and you'll get to see the fruits of our labor for today.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Put a
about
little
that.
bit of a sneak peek out today on TikTok.
Yeah, Derek
But
did.
Shay and I had a nice photo shoot today.
Yeah.
We hadn't had a branding photo shoot
yeah.
in a long time. Been years actually. So it was exciting to do that. Even though I wasn't feeling my best, it was still good to do that because we need it, right?
Yeah.
And if you guys are in business, you also need a branding photo shoot. So
don't be afraid to do that. Let's talk about that.
but also, even before we get too far, right, I want to greet all of the new people and all the old timers, right? So first of all, big shout out to everybody that's always faithful and that are always here. So big shout out to you all, but also shout out to all of the new people that may be completely new to us in terms of just finding us or just being newer to us. So if you're newer to us right now, let me know in the chat. If you're new to us, meaning that you just discovered us less than 2 or 3 weeks ago, let me know in the chat. We want to shout you out personally. I see a lot of our old timers here, but I see names like Latoya. I see names like Whitney Horn. I see names like where's another one that I saw? Brittany. So I just want to make sure that we're greeting all of our newer people that may have no clue who we are or may not be used to us coming on live like this all the time. So one more time, thank you guys so much for being here because you guys have choices of where you could be, but y'all chose to be here with us and we super appreciate that, right? So Jessica says that she's new from Memphis. Good stuff, Jessica.
Welcome.
Vicky says she's new. Perfect. Whitney says, I think Whitney's new. Latoya's new. So let me know in the chat also, how did you find us? Was that like Instagram, Facebook, the ILF Academy, or did you find us on YouTube? Because a lot of people don't know about our ILF Academy. That's a free Facebook group. And when we first opened that group, probably 4 months ago, 5 months ago, I did a class in there, but I feel led to do that again. So if you're not a part of the free Facebook group, the ILF Academy, make sure you join that. It's absolutely free. And I'm going to pour into that group sometime at the end of June. So the end of this month, probably that last Wednesday in this month, I'm going to do probably what we'll call a masterclass or a one-day challenge, right? So I want to make sure that I'm able to pour into that group because that is a big group and it's growing by the day. Like 40, 50, 60 people are joining that group a day. And that's exciting because when I first started it, 3 people would join a day, 4 people would join a day. Now it's 40, 60, 70 people a day. So I'm excited about that. And again, it's called the ILF Academy. And I'm going in the chat now because I really want to see, like, where did my new people find us at? Whitney says that she found us from Georgia, and I found you all on YouTube, but Whitney Jessica Carter is in your Facebook group. Good stuff. So that means that the last names are different. No problem. Jessica found us on YouTube and TikTok. So you probably found us on TikTok, Jessica, and then you jumped on YouTube, right? Let me know if I'm right about that. Then Latoya says, researching Facebook groups to get started. Well, God bless y'all, because, man, this is y'all's starting point, right? I'm the whole reason why God put me on this earth for people like y'all, because believe it or not, sis, 8 years ago, I was just like y'all trying to figure this thing out, and nobody wanted to teach it to me. So I was the social worker trying to make ends meet. And I begged God, I said, God, if you let me get into this, man, I'll go all over the world teaching it. And that's what I do today. So very simply, I usually give this story and it takes about 2 hours, but I'm going to give this story in 30 seconds. I used to be a social worker, y'all, so I'm not that special, begging God to get into this. And believe it or not, Miss Vicky, God allowed me to see a lady that was making $41,000 a month doing this. And Jessica, I tell everybody, man, can you imagine making 41 grand a month? Type the word me in the chat if you made 41 grand a month, if that would change your life just a little bit. Again, put me in the chat. If you made $41,000 a month, Shay, would that have changed our lives 8 years ago? Absolutely. It'll change it today.
Yeah.
But Tracy, 8 years ago, I was making 28 grand a year begging God to get into this. And he showed me a lady, y'all, living my dream, Whitney, making $41,000 every 30 days. And I said, why not me? Some of y'all, 2 of y'all type in the chat, why not me, Derek? So that's my whole story. And again, usually I take 2 hours to tell that, but tonight I'm not.
I want to greet our new people. I want to answer questions, but I also want to talk about what is an ILF, because I never take for granted people just know what this is, right? We take a single family residence, a 4-bed, 2-bath. It could be a 1-bed, 1-bath. And we take people from homeless to hopeful, and it doesn't require a license, and I don't have to own the property. And when I figured that out many years ago, I said, boy, I'm finna turn this world upside down. Because I was tired of making 28 grand a year, Shay.
Yeah.
Coming home crying to Shay, complaining, because Shay had a great job. Shay made a lot of money.
Absolutely.
I did it. I was trying to get to where her job was, right? That 70, 80 grand a year.
Plus.
But again, how hard was that without me really having a degree? So this one tricked me to go to college, got a degree, and that's where I saw a lot of this bad stuff at when it came to housing, right? I'm not that special. I was a social worker for 9 years, and God, again, Jessica, allowed me to see my dream through somebody else. And LaToya, when I saw those rats and roaches and the filth and the grime, LaToya, it broke my heart. I couldn't believe that somebody was making that kind of money, but also was allowing people to live in squalor like that.
So disrespectful. Like it's dehumanizing. Like, why would you why would you allow people to live in such filth? Like, especially making $41,000 a year, right? You can get somebody to come and do house cleaning for a fraction of that once every so often to help to provide a clean living environment. So, when Derek tells that story, it irks me, because there's so many ways that you can employ somebody to go and clean the house. If people aren't clean, you can go hire a maid.
Yeah.
There are things that you can implement to help you keep the facility, the home, looking hospitable,
especially
right?
when you're making that kind of money, because we teach you that you don't have to hire staff.
Derek, you can get a housekeeper depending on how big the home is, and this, I think most of her places were 3-2s, right? So you're talking about a 3-2 once a month, maybe $200 for a cleaning company to come in and just clean up, make it tidy. Like, what is $200 for? You know what I'm saying? 41,000, depending on how many houses she had, right? But if you think about it, they're all 3-2s. They're all about the same. They were probably all cookie cutter built homes. So they all probably mimicked each other.
She has some big ones too now. Some big 2-story too. So yeah.
Okay, fine. But my thing is, again, if you
she was making the money, so who cares, right?
You're making more than that.
Right.
And plus some. So it disgusts me.
And the sad part about it is that the way I tell you guys is that we have some people that are going to be messy. They're going to be not so clean. But the difference in what this lady said was like, either they live in these roaches and these rats, or they can live outside. So guys, not saying that your place ain't gonna get dirty and nasty. The difference is that most of us are going to do something about it.
Right.
This lady simply told these folks they either live in this condition or they can go outside and live in the rain or on the street.
Hey,
and the way that we see that, man, the devil is a liar. So again, once we saw this, we just decided to get into it and do it different. And then I promised God that if he allowed me to be successful leader, that I would go all over the world sharing it, and I would never take any credit. So watch me do that right now for the people that are new to me, that don't know me, because I do this all the time, but I want to show y'all. Guys, without God, I'm an absolute dummy. But with God, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Because when God is in the palm of my hand, I'm in the palm of his, all things are possible. But without God, womp, 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 womp. And again, because God has blown his blessing on this housing model, because not because Derek says it's so great. The Bible says the poor and needy will always be among you.
Right.
The Bible also says that when you do unto the least of these, it's like you're doing it unto me. So how cool is it that you can be involved in real estate, helping people, doing God's will, but also making enough money to feed your family?
Yeah.
And that's what we live by. How can we serve God, serve people, but also y'all got families? Don't you want to feed your family too? 5 of y'all type in the chat, Derek, I want to feed my family.
Yeah.
And also, Derek, I don't want to struggle doing it. Guys, I struggled feeding my family years ago before God gave me this. And not to say that when you get into business or in life, there won't be tough times.
Right.
Because I just told y'all 3 weeks ago, or actually last week, that I went through 18 months of a tough time. January of this year is when the tables kind of turned for us.
Yeah.
For the good again. been in business a long time, y'all, but these last 18 months outside of January, I had never seen that in business, and it was tough. But oh my God. But when you get on the other side of it and you trust God and you stand, as they say today, 10 toes down, that's how the young folks say it today, stand 10 toes down on it. And that's what me and Shay did, because we could have quit. We could have complained. Now, I'll admit, we did say, why me? I was like, God, what did we do?
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like, why not you? So while you're being tested and going through the fire, God is refining you to be this great thing that you're eventually going to be. And just like I promised God, because my whole life is when we go through the bumps and bruises and stuff, our job is to go back and teach it to the people so that you guys don't make the same mistakes. Right. Just like my last ebook is called How to Avoid the 12 Dumbest Mistakes That I Made when I first started. It's called How to Avoid the ILF Fiasco. Yep. And that book will save your life. Shay, on you.
I think it's so important because a lot of people say that they're looking to know how to get started. And I think the one thing that I can honestly tell you is the importance of setting yourself up as a business. You don't want to be known as, Brittany, Brittany that's housing people. You want to have a legitimate entity that's set up that covers you somewhat as a corporate veil. What we do can be very, you can be very wide open for liability if it's done incorrectly.
Right.
So we want to make sure that you have some form of coverage that can cover you. And that's going to be one, having an entity. Business 101, right? Whether it's an LLC, a C Corp, S Corp, whatever it is that you get that advice from your tax accountants, your tax professionals, because it depends on how much money you make on a regular basis too, how you want to set yourself up. So get that information from your tax professional. But ultimately, that is step one. A lot of people get so caught up in, the process of, wanting to know more. But number one, numero uno, is get that business set up an actual entity for your independent living facility. I was talking to a family member today and their thing is they want to start a business so bad. And they really don't know what they want to do. And I said, just start somewhere, get the business, get the entity, start moving in faith for whatever it is you want to do. Create a name that's not so streamlined or stuck into something that it doesn't fit, but do something like enterprise, right? Do something like, what is it, Derek? Give me some more. I just drew a blank. Don't do housing to name the business.
Right. Foundation. So where she's going, guys, is that we teach you guys not to choose a name that sounds like housing.
Correct. And
so my name is Second Chance Housing, which was a mistake.
Yeah.
She's telling you to use names like Solutions or Enterprise or Foundation.
Use something that's broad. So that way, no matter what, let's say that, you want to add alternative things to your organization, you can do so, your business. It doesn't have to just solely be housing. You can have a apparel store. You can have something else that's separate arms to what you're doing, right? For additional income. So I tell people, and I spoke to that family member today, I said, move in faith, at least get the entity, get the documents, make yourself a business, and then keep growing with all of the other information that you're going to need to become an ILF owner and operator. But first things first, get a business. I think that's going to hold you and make you more responsive. It's going to cause you to do more to bring this thing to fruition, right? Yeah. You're not going to waste the money in structuring an LLC or obtaining an S Corp or something like that to not do anything with it. And if you do, I'm sorry to say you wasted some money, but ultimately use that thing to be that seed that you sow into the initial portion of your vision, right? Get the entity, even if it sits dormant for a little while. Brittany says, I decided to call my business Elevating Solutions. I love that.
Love it.
I love that. Because
and what does it mean? So put in the chat, what does it mean? But love that name. Love it.
Yeah, I love that. Elevating Solutions.
Because the way that we teach it is that when you do choose that name, already have a story behind it, Brittany. And I'm sure you've thought of it, but if you haven't, here we go, right? Somebody's going to ask you one day, Brittany, what does that mean? Why did you choose that name?
Choose that name?
And we want you to already have a story behind it. because I don't know you, Brittany, but when I see that name, I can just look at it and say elevating solution. So that when you come to my place, my housing, you're immediately going to be elevated because of the lifestyle change of where you're going from homeless to now hopeful inside of my housing program. So we just elevated you in other words, right? So yeah, just have a story behind it. Make sense, everybody? Hey, Neonta.
Shout out to Neonta. Hey, sis.
Also, for my new people or just anybody, if you guys have questions or concerns, let us know. That's actually what we're here for. And then tonight, as Shay said, this won't be a 3-hour room like we did Saturday. Saturday, y'all, we went 3 hours. So if you missed Saturday's room, please go back and look at that. That was a fabulous room because probably an hour and 45 minutes of it was game, but the other back end was life. And Shay and I got real personal with things that we've never talked about. Prime example, Shay talked about how she was going to leave me because I ate a piece of her lamb shank from a restaurant.
Yeah, Neonta,
I talked about how I was going to leave Shay one time because I thought, I don't know, but we've never talked about that. But and here we are 13 years in it, married and doing business. And now we want to share our story with people. How do we stay in business and married and make it work?
And we want people to know that it's possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Without killing each other.
Right. It's possible. So we'll start sharing more of that on our Saturday. It just depends on how the spirit moves. Right. But one of the other things I wanted to say, Derek, in regards to, the setting up of a business, prepare yourself mentally for all of the things that come with business. And this is just me giving some for real free coaching. When you enter into the business space, you've got to think like a business owner, right? A lot of times we see people that get stuck with an employee mindset trying to run a business.
Did you take my mouse?
I didn't take
lost
nothing. I think you're probably sitting.
Do y'all see my mouse anywhere near me? Is it down by my feet?
I don't see it.
No worries. Go ahead.
But yeah, some people he just really. So a lot of people, and I want to encourage you that as an entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you focus on obtaining a entrepreneur's mindset and not an employee mindset. A lot of people get stuck in that. I'm going to be very transparent and say that I was one, even though I was in a leadership role in my prior employment. It's easy to still have the employee mindset and not be able to function when it comes to owning or operating your own business. So don't be mindful that, the same things that you see at your business is the best, wherever you're working, can be some of the best training ground you can ever get to enter into entrepreneurship. Look at everything that's already set up. For those, I'm going to pick on those in healthcare. You see every year there's annual education that you have to do. There's different things. There's policies and procedures that they're telling you to be aware of. There are things that they've implemented for the safety of the business, as well as the safety of the owners of the business, as well as limiting the liability that any employee can assert on that business. So just be mindful. And I want you all this is going to be just some homework that I want you all to take away from today. And this is all Holy Spirit, because I don't even know how I landed here. But I want you to view your job, the place that you go into work, look at it from a consultant's point of view. Look at it from the perspective of, okay, why are they doing this and why is it so important? Why do instead of complaining about the things that they're asking you to do, think of it as if it was your business that you were operating, and why do you think it was important for them to implement some of the things that they're implementing, or the things that they're asking you to do? Because that's going to help you maneuver in this space when you become an entrepreneur, because you're going to start thinking back on some of the policies, the procedures, certain things that the organization that you worked for had you sign, or, even in that process of hiring you. Look at all of that stuff and consider the why, right? Think of the workload that you have. A lot of times we walk around and we complain about, oh my God, these people working me like a Hebrew slave, and they got me over here just, working till the skin of my fingers fall off. But then we see people that once we give them a virtual assistant, they do the exact same thing with the virtual assistant. right? So you've got to look at it from a perspective of not, oh, I'm a boss, but thinking of that fine median, right? What is too much, what is not enough, what is acceptable, what is not. So as you enter or prepare yourself, because a lot of people say they want to know how to get started. And I think the first things first is going to be mindset, a shift in mindset from employee to business owner, and a shift in and a step forward in creating the entity.
Yeah.
Start small. A lot of people want to get to the open
Despise
door.
not small beginnings.
Right. Yeah, because in the beginning, think about how we did for you. We wrote things out. We had a to-do list that we had at our kitchen table. We had a weekly come to Jesus meeting. This is what needed to be done. How many things were knocked off the list? How much time did it take you to get it done? And all of these things. So I tell people, it doesn't matter if you're housing the homeless, if you are feeding people, if you have a restaurant, whatever it is you're doing, you've got to transition from employee to employer or business owner. So I'd say look at the things at your job now, your current workplace. Don't get mad about what they've implemented, because ultimately the things that they've implemented is to safeguard their interest, their financial interest in their entity, no matter what entity it is. So I want you to start thinking the same way. So again, instead of letting things tick you off about your job, let those things be learning lessons for you to kind of figure it out of why. Why was this implemented, and how is it benefiting the business owner? And how can I take from that and implement it into my own business? So I just wanted to hover there on the how to get started, right? If you have loosey-goosey implementation processes, your business is going to run loosey-goosely, right? Not even a real word, but it will run that way. It will operate that way. And that is the quickest way to have a grand opening and a grand closing, because people will not trust the process or see you as a viable resource as a business. So you want to make sure that you show up legitimately, and it's going to take time to build those things out. So educate yourself, do some research, connect with like-minded individuals, i.e. Forston Consultants. Get some understanding.
We are your answer. You just found your answer tonight. So everybody that's asking how to get started, that's us. And also scrolling below is our complimentary web class. So we want everybody to text the phrase more info to that phone number 407-326-0086. And if you're on our TikTok page, make sure you come over right now to YouTube.
And just be careful
because TikTok doesn't allow me to keep repeating that phone number. If I do, they'll kind of ban me for a day or two. So if you're on TikTok right now, come over to Forston Consultants. That's my last name, Consultants. Forston Consultants. But if you text that phrase more info, just those two words, nothing else, not your city, not your name, not I'm new. Because my system's automated. So that's not me being mean or me being a jerk. I just want you to get what I'm supposed to give you. So if you text more info, just those two words, more info, to 407-326-0086, that'll give you our introductory web class, but also gives you a free phone call with me and Shay to talk about how can we get you started? How serious are you? Are you ready to leave your job to do this? Or are you one of those people that got a pretty good job and you want to leverage both of them? So our job is to show you how to do this, right? And our coaching right now is in 39 states. So no matter where you guys live at, this works in all 50 states. Correct. In fact, right now, put in the chat where you guys located. I saw Virginia from the lady that was asking about that.
New Jersey,
we got people in New Jersey. We got people in Virginia. So our coaching right now is in 39 states. You guys probably can't name a state that we're not in. In fact, I saw somebody that said Memphis earlier. I don't think I have a coaching client in Memphis.
Somebody mentioned something the other day about Memphis, and I can't remember what it was.
So that lady that said Memphis, you could actually be first and take us to 40 states. Because if my knowledge and my memory is serving me correctly, we don't have nobody in Memphis.
I have to look.
Okay.
So there are a few people are asking, they want to know what requirements for their particular states. So
let's bring those up and let's knock them out.
So it's the same question for two different states. So Faithful B
So are
says,
you
familiar
familiar
with Virginia requirements for starting an ILF or direct?
So we're familiar with all requirements for all states because this works in all 50 states, Faithful.
Correct.
So as you heard me say earlier, and you're probably super new to us, and I love new people, but our coaching right now is in 39 states. So that thing you've been praying for, God just answered your prayer, and that's me and Shay. So I'm your new big brother now. And the first step is to watch that webinar that's scrolling below. The next step is that phone call. And the next step is you making a decision. How do you fall into this? Because I got something for everybody. I got free coaching. That's 3 days a week right here on this YouTube channel, right? Monday, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. There is nobody, and I mean nobody, on these internet streets that has more videos and knowledge and teaching than I do. I have over 830 videos, guys, on just my live tab alone. If you click the live button on YouTube, there's over 800 videos, guys, that are 2 and 3 hours long. There's not a question in your mind, Faith, that you can think of that's not already in a video format.
Yeah.
So I got 3 ways to get into my coaching. The first way is free. Shay talked about mindset earlier too. So we got to come in with a good mindset. That free coaching is Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday, but also the ILF Academy. That's a free Facebook group, which they're getting the class at the end of this month for free. The second way is our do-it-yourself version, the DIY. A lot of people love that because they get the same products and curriculum, and we still build your website.
Correct.
You just don't get me as your brother. But the one-on-one coaching, I hold your hand through the whole thing, Shay and I both.
Correct.
And we build your website. You get all our paperwork. What I tell people is this too, right? And when you guys get a chance, go to forsterconsultants.com and look under the tab that says products and services. Our ILF Master Blueprint, guys, got so much stuff that's involved with it. I often forget to name stuff. But watch this. As I tell everybody, guys, I don't sell ebooks and products and websites and stuff. I sell transformation. So when you're ready to change your life and you feel like God has called you to this, that's when you call me and you get that one-on-one coaching. Does that make sense? Me building your website is complimentary. Me building your logo is complimentary. Me giving you that $8,000 worth of paperwork is complimentary. Guys, I went through a $40,000 lawsuit and made the Channel 8 news just to make sure that y'all get it right. Now, I'll admit, when I was going through it, I didn't know it was going to be for y'all. But today, my lawyer charged me $8,000 to build that paper, and I give it to y'all. So that's what I mean by I don't sell paperwork. I don't sell ebooks. And in my course, you probably get 6 or 7 ebooks. You get that complimentary. What you're buying from me is transformation and the one-on-one coaching. I'm just so generous that I give you all that other stuff. So if you guys go to forsterconsultants.com, look under that tab that says products and services. Guys, it got a mile longer list of what's involved in it. But remember what I just told you. You get all that stuff complimentary. What you pay me for is to change your life. And if you're real smart, we give God the credit. You thank me, but we celebrate together. Make sense? You and I and Shay gonna build this thing, but we smart enough to give God the credit. Y'all just thank us for it, but we gonna celebrate together because most of y'all been praying for something just like this. In fact, put in the chat if you've prayed to get into something just like this, but people hiding it from you, they gatekeeping it, they won't teach it. Guys, I teach 3 days a week on this for free. And what I give for free, people trying to charge you for it. And I'll admit, I got coaching plans too. But I got something for everybody. I got a free version, I got DIY, and I got one-on-one. The DIY is only $500. The one-on-one is only $5,000. And that's on sale the whole year. So normally that DIY is $1,000. Normally the one-on-one is $7,500. But for the whole year of 2025, we decided that we want to help double and quadruple the amount of people we helped last year. So we brought it down and put it on sale the whole year. So in fact, if you go to my website, you will see that it says $4,997 and I cover the tax. Guys, I've been an absolute blessing this year. So for $4,997 and I cover the tax, that's my one-on-one coaching. And remember, all of that stuff that you see that come with it, you get that complimentary. What you're buying is the transformation of your life. And that little $5,000 that you pay me, that's pennies compared to what you're gonna make every month. Remember, Shay, I told him that there was a lady that was making 41 grand housing people in rats and roaches.
Something about that though, because I think we touched on that a couple of lives ago, talking about the importance of putting money into your business before it even opened. Well, while it's opening, right? These things are write-offs for your business. So when you go to file taxes for 2025, these are business expenses that you can leverage in the future, right? So don't get so caught up on, the having to make these purchases or purchasing to better yourself. Anything that you do to educate yourself for your business is considered a tax write-off. So you need to make sure that you are, when you do start that LLC or start that business, that you do have access to the right people to assist you in your taxes, right? In preparation for your taxes for the upcoming year. Don't be ill-informed. Make sure you have somebody that knows how to file appropriately and utilize those things as itemized deductions for your organization. Invest in your business. It's going to be a huge benefit.
Invest in yourself too.
Yeah.
Like you guys paying for coaching, and some of you guys need to change the mindset of thinking that when you buy the coaching that you paying me. You ain't paying me. You're invested into yourself, right? Even the Bible talks about seeking knowledge. I could be wrong, but I think it's in like Proverbs 4:7, where it talks about if it costs you everything you have, get understanding and get knowledge. The Bible even says that. And if I'm wrong, somebody gonna tell me, but Proverbs 4:7, specifically the Message version, said if it costs you everything you have, get understanding and knowledge. You
said Proverbs what?
4:7. If I'm wrong, you'll tell me.
I'll let you know.
But the Message version, I like that one because it says if it costs you everything you have. Some of y'all got some old cars at your house that just sit in the driveway, sell it and get rid of it. Some of you guys got electronics that you don't use, sell it and get rid of it. Some of you guys got a closet full of clothing that you don't wear, sell it and get rid of it to advance your life. So one more time, if it costs you everything you have, guys, get knowledge. Get understanding of what this is. Don't be like me and do it the wrong way. Thank you, Shay.
It's so I'll read it. So it's Proverbs 4, and it starts at verse 3. It says, "When I was a boy at my father's knee, the pride and joy of my mother, he would sit me down and drill me." And this is the Message version. And I technically don't care so much for the Message version, but sometimes it'll hit you in the throat. He said he would sit me down and drill me. Take this to heart. Do what I tell you. Live. Sell everything and buy wisdom. Forage for understanding.
Sell your stuff. Like when my mentor laid that on me, I was like, oh my God. That means getting rid of a lot of that useless waste you got. Prime example, I won't call her out. I'll let her tell it. But there's a lady that just told me less than 3 weeks ago that she sold her car or one of her cars. And she sold some paintings that she does herself to buy our package. That's the epitome of that scripture. She sold things to now pour into her vision, which will secure her future. Lord have mercy.
So I'm reading it in the NLT as well. It says, getting wisdom is the wisest thing you can do. And whatever else you do, develop good judgment. For your prize, wisdom, she will make you great. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will place a lovely wreath on your head. She will present you with a beautiful crown. Wisdom is that what made Solomon so great, right?
Yep.
He didn't ask God for nothing but wisdom. He asked God, I just want wisdom. Make me wise. Right. And I think that is the powerful thing that people don't realize. We always ask for money. We ask for wealth. We ask for the materialistic things, but we don't seek the thing that God tells us to seek before anything, outside of that. It says, seek ye first the kingdom. Right. But in that, it's also telling us that wisdom is a part of kingdom knowledge, right? So getting wisdom is in fact seeking the kingdom. but you've got to do it in more than, do it in the word first and foremost. And then God will allocate you or appoint you to whom he's got for you in whatever season that you're in to gain that wisdom that's going to propel you into your purpose. And a lot of times people don't realize that thing that's gnawing on the inside of them is that purpose that God's going to agitate. He's going to keep agitating it within you until it comes out of you.
Can't stop that. How many of y'all go to bed thinking about this thing? How many of you all that haven't done it yet? Because I remember do you remember when I first got this vision to do this? I couldn't eat and I couldn't sleep until I got it.
I tell you, he kept me up.
How many of y'all, this is all you think about? Was I the only one? Can I get 2 more people to tell me, yeah, Derek, bro, this is all I think about. And again, if you're on TikTok, please come to our YouTube channel. This is where we're live at. TikTok just happens to have a side show to this. Come to Forston Consultants on our YouTube channel. We'll be here for another 20 minutes at least. So come to YouTube at Forston Consultants. And again, if you want our complimentary web class and a free call with us, make sure you text that phrase "more info" to the phone number that's scrolling below at the bottom of your screen right now. So if you text the phrase "more info," that's MOREINFO, to that phone number that's scrolling below at the bottom of your screen, that's going to instantly give you our web class.
Yeah.
And also it's going to set up a phone call with Shay and I so that we can answer all of your questions and see how fast can we get you started and how fast do you want to resign from your job this year. How many of y'all desire to leave your job this year the right way though? By a show of hands or typing me in the chat, how many desire to leave their job this year to do, this full time?
Derek, I was told I looked so pretty today.
I agree. You should have saw her at that photo shoot today.
So that's why we're looking how we're looking today. We've done our branding shoot. For a lot of you, a lot of people don't really know the back end, so we'll give you that really quickly. And this is the importance of taking your brand serious, right? Kiosha always tells us all the time, you are your brand, right? So don't be that person that shows out when they go to the restaurant and because something's not available or anything like that, because you are your brand. You never know where you're going, who you're going to see that remembers you or notices you from something. Prime example was last week at the event in Fort Lauderdale. So many people walked up to us that we didn't even know watching us live.
We got to be careful, man, because if I was somewhere acting a fool, it's people that know me that I don't know them because they keep seeing me on YouTube.
And
right. So like that's what Shay is talking about. Like, don't be the idiot in McDonald's that's screaming because the ice cream machine is down and you got your branded shirt on about your housing program. Don't make the Channel 8 news guys in the wrong way. Remember that you're branded, and sometimes people gonna know you before you know them. God is showing us that in this season. See how many people walked up to us and said, "Oh my God, you're the YouTube people."
And it was so funny.
We've been following you.
One guy literally followed your stuff so much that he even made the talking baby. Remember that?
He did. He sure did.
It's been amazing. But the importance about that. So thank you so much, Andrea, for the compliment. I truly appreciate that. But the reason why I am actually in a full face of makeup, which I do not normally do. You see the highlight going on them high cheekbones. They don't need no help being accentuated. But we did our brand. We had our brand shoot today. A lot of people that are new to us don't know that I was more behind the scenes about 1.5 years ago. And it was Derek and his older brother that were the brand, they embodied Forston Consultants. They were the face of Forston Consultants, and myself, Kiosha, which was his brother's wife, Mom Forston. We kind of played the background, but now in this new season, since the passing of our beloved brother, I'm now repositioning. And because of that new repositioning, we've got to change the aesthetic of the brand. So we did our brand shoot today, which was lovely. Like, I'm not even going to lie. It was really fun. Excellent photographer. Man, thank you to Jars Room Photos. Jasmine is amazing. So
Yeah, big shout out to Jasmine.
Yeah, we're going to actually be
Yeah.
sharing her information for anybody that's in the Central Florida area.
And if you want a sneak peek of it, I posted just 2 pictures on my TikTok today of Shay and I, just to get a little bit of a sneak peek of what it may be.
Yeah.
But Shay is very photogenic, ladies and gentlemen, and Shay does great. They got to squeeze good pictures out of me.
He did
So,
amazing
guys, if
today.
they take 100 pictures of me, we may be able to take 8 of those pictures and like them.
Stop it, not
This
8.
one take 100 and you can pull 85 and they look beautiful, right? And then the other 15 is just because she blinked, maybe. But me, I'm not very photogenic. In fact, my pictures come out better when people catch me natural, just in the motion. But if they say, "Hey, Derek, smile," I'm like the 6-year-old in the first grade picture, head up, like. I'm not good at that, but if they just got me naturally laughing and moving, that's kind of when you get the best pictures of me. But this one's very pretty and she's super photogenic. So
had a great, like I said, a great shoot. And these are some of the things that you want to take into consideration, especially because for those of our ILF family that have been doing this pretty long, or have been in the space for a while, and your face is being placed out there, you're doing different things in the community. Definitely do a brand shoot. If it's a family thing, Katara, get a family brand shoot. That way you can refresh your website. You can do a lot of different things and utilize that footage for your social media.
And Katara's a speaker now. So Katara needed a photo shoot because you're a speaker now, Katara, you and Tiffany, right? And Angela.
Yeah.
So you all definitely need that. And don't be afraid of the AI photo shoots either.
Oh,
right?
Gosh,
they're more affordable, and sometimes people don't have time or they just can't afford it. There's AI apps that you can take a picture of your face and it'll take you on a shopping spree and give you 50 outfits and have you in a photo shoot, and all you did was use your screenshot. Thank me later, and I'll kind of put that in the chat. But I paid $17 for one, y'all, and they gave me 100 pictures. And out of the 100 pictures, they gave me brand new clothes, suit, tie, everything. Out of the 100 pictures, there were probably about 17 to 20 pictures that look just like me. You can't tell the difference. But the other 80 looked like AI did it. So, but it was worth $17, y'all. So if I can remember that name of that one, I'll put it in the chat. Shay knows one. Our VAs even use it, right? So think of that as well. But other than that, back off that pig trail, I want to answer this question. Miss Latoya, are you still here? If so, shout me out in the chat. If not, I'll go ahead and answer it anyway. Do I have to have a certain credit status to get started? No. Is it possible to find funding to help get started for our homes business? Probably not. So there are not funds per se to help a brand new business usually. Shay gets grants now, but because she's been in nonprofit for more than 3 or 4 years now, right? But 5. But when people ask this question, I'm quick to say no, because usually there's never any funding for this. I teach you all how to get business funding, which is what I wish I knew when I left my job, because I did something that wasn't so smart. I left my W-2 job and then went and applied for business credit. That was dumb. You keep your W-2 job, get the business credit, and then when you make that decision, you leave your job, because it's easy to get business funding when you have a W-2, right? So, but to answer your first question, ma'am, my credit was an absolute wreck when I first started. And to be quite frank, it's a wreck right now, because Shay and I make a lot of power moves with real estate and doing stuff and leveraging credit. So my credit go down, then it go up, then it go down. It's down right now. So guess who's always in credit repair? Me. So I'm looking to get back into that actually too, because again, credit is the game, y'all. Credit has afforded Shay and I a lot of what we have today. Every business we have, y'all, was started from a credit card. Let me say that really slow, because somebody gonna miss that. Every business we have was started from a business credit card. I didn't have that money. We learned to leverage other people's money. It's called OPM. And if I wish I knew that the day I left my job, life would have been easier. So here's some free coaching. If you got a W-2 and you want to leave your job, get the business credit now. So when you do leave, you Gucci, you good to go.
But that goes back to what we were talking about. Don't wait to start the LLC.
Yeah, start the LLC now.
Start it now. Go get your EIN. It's free from irs.gov. Get the EIN. Go open up a business bank account. Put part of your paycheck in your business bank account. Because guess what that is? Those are owner's deposits. That's owner investments into your business. And guess what it is? A tax write-off. Did you hear that? So this is why it's important to start now with the entity set up. And
it also gives God something to work with. Is you also moving in faith? Mm-hmm. Just like 8 years ago, I announced on Facebook, hey, everybody. Hey, case managers, in 90 days, Second Chance Housing is going to have its next facility. Guys, that wasn't true.
Yeah.
I was just speaking in faith. In fact, the Bible call these things that are not as though they were. Does that make sense, everybody? That just simply means speak things into existence.
Speak it.
I went back to Facebook and said, Facebook, in 30 days, Second Chance Housing going to have its next facility. Guys, that wasn't true. Again, I was calling these things that be not as though they were.
Yeah.
Again, speaking in faith. I did that all the way down to 7 days. I said, y'all, in 7 days, Second Chance Housing gonna have its first facility. And God gave me that blue house in that cul-de-sac, which later gave us 8 houses in that one cul-de-sac.
Yep.
That was all by speaking by faith.
It was so funny. It was so funny. Within a couple of days, Derek was counting down, boy. And that day he got that yes, he got stuck. So what happened, Big Mouth? You got the yes. He's talking about now we got to get going. But it's so worth it when you speak things into existence and you see God's hand upon it, right? So definitely don't lose sight in that, but definitely start moving. Place one foot in front of the other. You can't have a business without setting
give God something to work with,
right? You can't have a business without having a legal entity business, a legit business. So start working. That's step one.
And then lucky for you all, we give y'all all the back end. You start the business, we give you everything else. My team gonna build your website. If you're one-on-one, we're going to build your logo, right? All the paperwork, all the curriculum, all the ebooks, and the one-on-one coaching from us. And with God involved in it and with our coaching, it's fail-proof. You can't fail. I tell people under my coaching, if you don't make it, if you're not successful, you didn't try.
Yeah,
because God's all over it, and our coaching is 1,000% proof.
And Derek, it's
because so many people are already in it in 39 states. So it's not theory. We're doing it.
And what people don't realize is it's going to be consistency, right? You've got to be consistent in any business. Businesses do not start on Monday and are profitable on Tuesday. It takes. If you go and post statistics, matter of fact, I'll post some now.
And while she pulled it, I got a question that I love to ask too.
Go ahead, babe.
For my new people, especially the newer people, can everybody put in the chat right now, how long have you been on your job, on your W-2 job? Some of y'all 20 years, 15, 3 years. Put in the chat. I want to see at least 10 responses. How long have you been on your current W-2 job as Shay pulled these statistics up? Let me know in the chat, Mary, Latoya, Brittany, Shoshana. I saw another Shoshana join our ILF Academy today. So we got 2 Shoshanas now. Miss Jillian, put in the chat, how long, Owens family, T. Woods, Miss Tracy, how long have you been on your current job? Latoya, let me know. A few of y'all just put that in the chat. Whitney says 16 years as a nurse. Whitney, what city and state are you in? Tracy says 1.5 years. Good stuff. Thanks, Tracy. Tracy, where are you located? Give me 8 more people. I want to see a bunch of y'all because I got a point to prove. T. Wood says 2 years. Rhonda says 3 years. Devonsha says 5 years on her job. Somebody says 2 months. Okay. Just got my RN. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Miss Owens.
Miss Owens, do me a favor. I watched something last night on social media.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just going to give you, I worked in the medical field. I was a surgical technologist for several years and then became a surgical first assist. And I just want to say this. I've been seeing a lot of scary things about new nurses. I'm not saying this is you, but please, if you know anybody that's doing all of this going live on their nursing job, please don't do it. 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 Save your license. Save your license and save your license. So if you know anybody, I'm not saying you. So look at the person that was in the back of your class and say, hey girl, hey fella, don't be doing all that going live on TikTok and all these platforms
Reading
while you're
patient
working.
ID numbers and their
It
whole
was
name.
crazy. I was like, are we
Anyway.
really doing this right now?
So Tracy says 21 years. So that's good enough for me. I'm gonna make my statement and I'm gonna give it back to Shay.
It's gonna fall right into what I know where you're going. So go for it.
I released this probably 3 weeks ago. I've told you guys kind of what one of my newer pet peeves is as a coach is to see people that have been on their job for the amount of time that y'all just told me. And again, like Shay said, this ain't y'all. I ain't talking to y'all. But I got a lot of people that tell me, Derek, I've been on my job 21 years, 18 years, 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, 9 months. But as soon as they get into business, they don't want to give the business the same amount of time for it to be successful. Mm-hmm. You want to get into this Monday and be successful by Friday. And if you don't, you ready to give up and quit. But you had this W-2 job where people tell you what to do for 3 years, 4 years. Excuse me, 10 years. So all I'm going to say is give it a chance, guys. Because under our coaching, we tell people to give us the best 6 to 9 months of your life. Because if you do that, your life will automatically change.
Yeah, you're going to start.
And why wouldn't they share when most people in the chat already said that they've been on their job 25 years, Shoshana said. Now, Shoshana, I know you're not going to do this, sis. But Shoshana, it would aggravate me if you came under our coaching and you quit in 60 days because you didn't thought it got started fast enough.
You know what we need to start doing? In everybody's file under their notes, we need to know how long they've been on their job. So we can always remind them. And
to refer back to it.
Because we want people to realize the importance, right, of longevity, right? That is what makes success. Longevity. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be persistent. You've got to implement things that are going to get the word out about who you are and what you do. A lot of people think that you just start this thing and it's a fly by night opportunity. Like there's people on TikTok right now that have heard Derek speak about this and sat in Clubhouse and different platforms. And again, they've seen his consistency and now automatically they're, executive or consultants in the ILF.
I just saw new ones today, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I see them all the time. People that be under our coaching and I was like, oh, he teaching now.
So we got some seasoned assists that need to
come
again,
out. I mean, like they'll get that from our lawyer, but anyway, that's that point that I wanted to prove that a lot of you guys will be on your job 3 and 4 and 5 years, 20 years, but you won't give this thing that God put in your heart more than 6 months to 9 months. Like to me, that's just that's bad, guys. Like
it is.
That's almost disrespectful to yourself. You said God put this dream in your heart. And you've been on your job 8 years, but you want to give up on this in 3 months when it doesn't look like Shay and Derek or the homegirl that brought you into it. The devil is a liar.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to cast off of all of y'all right now is procrastination. I cast that out of all of y'all. I also cast out fear because God didn't give you that. He gave you the ability to have a sound mind and an able body to make sound decisions. So God did not give you the spirit of fear, but a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. And remember what I told y'all last week? Stop being poor. And not meaning poor, meaning that you only got $3 in your bank account. Not that poor. Poor means passing over opportunities repeatedly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a lot of people financially unstable. Because God has put this thing in your heart and you keep ignoring it. You keep hearing my big mouth on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, but you still ain't bought the coaching. You hadn't even got the DIY. You won't even be consistent coming every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday just to the YouTube channel.
Or start or get an LLC.
Or for like most of y'all, what Shay said, you won't even do the first step to say, hey, I am a business today. I'm under the Secretary of State and I have an LLC and an EIN.
Yeah.
And for most of us, that's under $300 in our city.
Mhm.
So again, don't procrastinate, because procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. One more time. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to act on. And for most of y'all, it's to help people and get involved in real estate, which is going to create the generational wealth for your family, but also to give you the finances to build the kingdom. God was so smart, y'all, when he built this thing for us, because he said, Derek, I'm going to show you something, bro, that's not only going to bless me as your God, but it's going to bless the house of God, meaning the church you attend, the city you live in. But also, Derek, I want you to make enough money to feed your family, because Shay loved to eat. Your family, your mama loved to eat, and I want to be able to feed them. Does that make sense, everybody? How God was genius enough to give us a ministry that serves him, serves people, but also make enough money to feed your family. And what I love about it so much, and this is my last point before I give it back to Shay, this ain't theory, y'all. This is something that we trying to do, and well, we're going to try to open up. My coaching is in 39 states, and Shay and I oversee over 450 ILFs throughout 39 states. Who's next?
Derek, I want to say this too.
Who's next?
Yeah, I want to say this as well, because a lot of people think that it's the ILF that may be the only thing that allows them to gain access to capital or wealth, right? How about knowing that when you leave your 9 to 5, you become more, it brings back the imagination. You become more creative. You start thinking of new and other ways and opportunities to help other people. And it starts new business ventures. The ILF may be the door for some people. We know people right now, guys, that have one ILF but started other entities. The ILF was just their opportunity to get into the business space, help those that God has called for them to help. And then now he's geared them or transitioned them to another avenue. And it has nothing to do with housing, but it's another business or it's another thing that he's implemented in their heart to do, to help them, to help others, and to also gain wealth to feed their family. And I just wanted to leave that there, because a lot of times people think that, oh, one business is the opportunity to gain wealth. No, it's multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income is what causes anyone to be successful. It's not just going to be one job. It's not just going to be one business. If you look at any person with significant wealth, they're doing multiple things. Let's look at Elon Musk. He had PayPal. He had all of these other businesses he started first. Now he's got Starlink. He's got Tesla. He's got SpaceX. Multiple streams of income. You get what I'm saying? We get so consumed with the one entity type or the one thing that we're good at that we don't allow ourselves to be creative in finding other opportunities. I'm not saying go out there and start a balloon business and something else that are so drastically different that they make no sense. Allow God to minister to you once you get in that space of becoming an entrepreneur. Don't get the shiny object syndrome. Please don't. Where everything that looks good is something that you want to try. Don't do that.
Yeah, because it's easy to do that.
It's easy to fall victim to, a new business. This looks fun. This looks interesting. Let me try it. This looks fun. No, let's nurture the first thing. Let's get it up, operational. Let's get it fully functioning and implementing certain things or adding employees and staff to it so that you can now go to that next thing. So just be mindful of that. Okay, be mindful of that. But what I wanted to talk about is statistics, because I want to give people insight and understanding to what it looks like and what does the data show on new businesses and how they function within the United States.
But right? Shay, before we do that, we're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, what's going on, family? Have you ever imagined starting your own housing program? That's probably why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction. We look forward to working with you. And again, this is only for people that desire our one-on-one coaching, which is designed to watch you succeed from going from a zero to a hero when it comes to information and knowing how to implement this independent living facility model without any mistakes. That's most important. So again, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, there's a scholarship that's available for it that'll slice the price in half, which is also a no-brainer. So again, if you've ever desired to start your own housing program, but you thought you needed a license, you don't. You thought you had to be a nurse, you don't. You thought you had to own the property, you don't. Consider our ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we are going to take you to success and let God use you in your community, housing the homeless and the displaced. Let's get back to the show.
All right, we're back. So what I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to give people insight to data, to actual numbers, real live numbers, so that you understand what businesses face, and so that you know that it's not just you, you're not alone, right? Survival rates of new businesses. I hope y'all ready. Buckle up. Here we go. Approximately 78.5% of new businesses survive the first year, indicating that about 21.5% fail in the first year. So be mindful that the first year of business is, the mindset is not, they call it survival mode. So it's more so pouring into your business without really expecting a true business to be able to stand on its own and support you wholeheartedly, right? It just depends. Around year 5, 51.6% of those new businesses remain operational after 5 years. So that means nearly half of the people don't make the milestone, right? They don't make it. They don't make it. They give up. 10-year survival rate, it drops down from that whole, let's say, X amount of thousands of businesses that were open. Only 34.9% of those businesses will still actively be in business after 10 years. Okay. Some of the common reasons business fail is cash flow issues. 82% of failed businesses cite cash flow problems as a significant factor. So you've got to build. You gotta battle and build at the same time, right? You may have to work full time while building your business to make sure that it's financially feasible. One thing I tell new entrepreneurs is that if you're not willing to put money into your business, who else is going to be willing to spend money in your business? All right, and that's the same for nonprofit organizations as well. They say 42% fail because of lack of market demand. Again, running out of capital is 29%. Team and management issues. 23% of businesses fail because of management issues. People don't know how to manage organizations or businesses appropriately. And when it comes to competitive pressure, people think that competition is a reason for business to fail. No, only 19% of businesses fail due to competition or saturated. People are like, oh, the market is saturated. 19% of businesses fail due to market saturation or so much competition in a space. So be mindful of that, right? Don't get so caught up on that first year. You got to be able to sustain past that 5 and 10-year mark. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about is, they're talking about the optimization of among small business. They're talking about, where is that other statistic? Where is it? It talked about some of the most impactful businesses. And I want you all to see this. I'm looking for it. Give me a second, guys. Oh no.
And while Shay's looking for that, I want to just throw out something real quick too. Most of you guys are W-2 employees, and there's nothing wrong with that. I started the same way. My whole life I had a job until I found this. But remember, for you 9-to-5 people, your entrepreneurship starts at 6 o'clock. So when you get off at 5 o'clock, I know you're tired, you're frustrated, you got kids and a needy husband, right? And 1,000 things to do, including laundry and the dishes and dinner. But you got to remember, your dream life starts at 6 p.m. For some of y'all, that's 5 p.m., meaning when you even get off and jump in the car, you're listening to us or whatever you're trying to get into. Everybody that's watching us may not desire to do this. We coach a lot of stuff, but we specialize in ILFs. So what if you want to start a restaurant or a bakery? No difference. When you leave your 9-to-5 job, your entrepreneurship life starts at 5:15 while you're driving home.
Yeah.
So remember, you got 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours, my nurses, at a job. Your dream, your entrepreneurship starts at 5:15. Between 5:15 and 6 p.m. Because guys, when I had a job, guess what I did? YouTube. But unlucky for me, there was no ILF guy teaching this. Y'all can come on now and turn me on over 800 videos on this topic. I wish I could have found 800 videos when I started. That's why I made a promise to God that when he allowed me to get into it, I would do exactly that. That's why you think we got people that find us now that don't even take my coaching and are successful. Strictly from the YouTube, strictly from the DIY. I'm getting a lot of calls and emails, and my team gonna start actually posting it. Big shout out to all the people that don't get the one-on-one coaching. You only watch YouTube and you've gotten started. You only bought the DIY, Dr. Jordan and your family, and you got 2 ILFs now only from the DIY. You never spoke to me for one-on-one coaching. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So big shout out to all of you all. So one more time, and I'm giving it back to Shay. If you got a 9-to-5, I know you're tired when you get home, but this is when your entrepreneurship and that dream that God gave you, this is what time it starts.
Turn on. Has to turn
from
on.
5:15 to probably 10 o'clock at night, working on that dream so that you can leave the job. Because guys, if I didn't do that, I'd still be a social worker right now today, making 28 grand a year versus possibly making 28 to 40 grand a month.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Back on you, Shay.
So I want to here. So what I did find out is it gave me some other statistics that may be too much of a deep dive that I don't want to go into. But overall profitability in a small business or a solopreneur is they're seeing some success within the first year, as long as you've implemented the appropriate, what we talked about, the mindset, the structure, everything that needs to be functioning well in the business. You can see somewhat of a increase on, a profit. I'm talking about an increase. They're saying an average on the solopreneurs, average annual revenue is around 49,000, with 78% earning less than 50,000. If you have a small business with teams of 1 to 4, the average revenue that they're seeing statistically across the nation of the United States of America is $387,000. And as you grow your team, that means you're expanding your reach in whatever it is that you're doing. And they're seeing that about teams or businesses with about 10 to 19 employees are averaging about $2.2 million in annual revenue. So be mindful of these things. You see, the larger scale businesses or even the entrepreneur, it can start off as minimal, but as you grow, you can actually duplicate yourself. You can replicate your processes and have other people doing the same thing for you within your business space. So be mindful of that. But I do want to get to this question in the chat because I want to give a mind shift. I want to give a mind frame shift. So this person asks, is there a good website to disclose shared living facilities in our area to see about competition? Let's change the conversation on this, right? Because I want you to think like an entrepreneur, right? Competition is never a great way to look at things. It's looking for partnership, especially in this space. You're not seeking competition. You're looking at partners in the community, because not only are you providing housing, you can also be a resource to those that have houses. So don't look at it as competition. McDonald's doesn't worry about Burger King, right? Burger King's not worried about Wendy's. All of these other entities that are literally on the same block across the street from each other, you will have to realize
Walgreens,
that you're
CVS.
Yes, Walgreens, CVS, Taco Bell, Del Taco. Like there's so many different avenues that you can look at and look for competition. Don't look for competition. Look for how you can even bridge partnerships. So what I tell people all the time in the ILF is that you will never be able to foster the same relationships that Derek fosters. I can't foster or nurture a lot of the same relationships as Derek, and we're husband and wife. Okay, so some of the case managers and social workers that he connects with, they don't want to do business with me. They just don't. I'm not their cup of tea. I can be a little demanding. I can be a little strong. I can be very, very mean what I say what I mean. And that may rub people the wrong way. So you've got to realize that not everybody is for you or your housing model. It may be for the person down the street that owns and operates an independent living facility or some type of shared housing program. So change the verbiage from competition to other associates in the field, because now you can open up your offerings and say, you know what, I've got 10 people in about a 4 to 5 mile radius, Derek, that do what I do. And I'm going to meet them. I'm going to have conversation with them, because guess what? I'm going to be able to be a viable resource to them when their beds are empty. If your phone's ringing, Singletary, you can now make an income and an impact by helping them fill their beds. So in this space, you've got to change the mindset from competition to collaboration, right? How can I now collaborate with these people? How can we now foster community? Because what a lot of people don't realize is this is like the group home experience, right? Most people hear the word group home and they're like, oh my God, it's going to be disgusting. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be just deplorable. But when you come in with a new offer, a new product, a new aesthetic, a new feel, a new fresh overall everything that is completely different from those that are already doing it, you've now changed you've changed the lane, so that now those that are not operating or functioning well, they've got to come up higher. So now you can be a resource to them and be able to benefit and profit off of the collaboration. So be mindful of that. And I just wanted to share that, because a lot of times we get caught up on the competition aspect, and in these instances you got to find a way to collaborate. If not collaborate, find a way to even educate, right? Because you may come into this space, you may have better pricing, you may have a better aesthetic appeal. They're going to be jealous, but this is what opens a lot more doors for the individual that doesn't see competition but views collaboration. This is where other doors open wider for you. Okay. And other opportunities will present themselves because of because of that non-selfish, not saying you're selfish, but that this is mine, this is my baby, forget you, you can't have it, right? It's that situation that tends to stem in people that get into what they would think is a saturated market. But a lot of people don't realize that in this space, in the housing space, in particular, when you're dealing with case managers, social workers, hospitals, all of this, it's how you show up. A lot of those people can have houses, but I can guarantee you their beds aren't full. A lot of people can go but they can't be consistent in maintaining relationships. They don't know how to nurture relationships. They don't have things implemented. If you come into a case manager and say, hey, this is my software, this is what I do, this is my program, this is how we operate things, and you've got a clear, defined process, I can guarantee you 90% of those that are competitors, we're going to use that word for just right now, don't have half of what you have in place. And they're not functioning as good businesses. So 99.9% of the time, and I'm being very truthful with our numbers, because we've seen other housing programs have to shut down and then reestablish themselves under either our coaching or under our guidance, because of the fact that they haven't grown in their offerings or bettered themselves. So collaboration is always better than competition, because it's going to allow you to now, instead of having 10 beds, you may now have 55 beds that you can benefit from, because of those in the area that you're serving. They may have to start relying on you or leaning on you. Katara is a great example of that. Katara can't open up houses fast enough, but we've got other people that we've launched personally under Forston Consultants umbrella that she's now placing to these individuals. She's the placement provider. They don't have time to go to see the case managers, the social workers, but Qatar gives them a phone call and say, hey, I got 4 people. You got 4 beds. I've done the assessment already. I've done this. I've done that. And da, 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 da. They ready to move in. Absolutely, Katara, you know the door code. Go ahead and place them. So now you've actually extended or expanded your actual ILF because of those that are in the community that you serve that need your assistance now. So always look at competition as collaboration, right? When we come on here, we joke and we laugh. We find it very it's what's the word? Where when we joke and talk about people that we've trained or we've consulted or that have heard us speak and stuff, and they come on platforms and now they're selling courses, they're doing education, they're doing different things. You know, it's like, wow, you know, we've really impacted enough people enough that they would implement and go and do the same thing. But unfortunately, not being funny, you know, they can do it, but they just can't call it independent living facilities because it's trademarked. That's like Burger King saying they're going to sell a Big Mac. Burger King can't sell a Big Mac because it's McDonald's and it's trademarked. So, you know, so just know that you can always do something to stand above the rest, to differentiate who you are in the market that you serve, and put those safeguards in place as well. But also look at collaboration, because collaboration is going to be a lot more impactful for you when you run or own and operate independent living facilities, because not every client or every phone call that you receive is going to be a perfect fit for your housing program. So I'm off my high horse. I'm done.
And pretty much again, the need for housing is also going to outweigh the competition. Yep. So put in the chat again where you located at, sis. But I guarantee you right now, the need for housing is going to outweigh the competition. And like Shay said, don't look at it that way. View it as collaboration. But also, again, just to ease your mind, I give this out all the time, right? You can literally call in your area, and that day your name could be Clarice. You don't have to be your real self if you don't feel comfortable, but you can call around asking the social workers, hey, Miss Jones, I'm getting ready to open up a housing program real close to your hospital. Is there a need for housing here in this city?
Correct.
That's another way for you to kind of see what's going on. But I've been doing this long enough. I don't care where you live in. I don't care what city, what state, there's a housing problem. Oh, and Shay also told you that a lot of people in your city that do this is doing it the wrong way. Just like the lady I saw making 40 grand a month doing this, housing people in rats and roaches. And lucky for me, she was the only person in my city that we called on. Yeah. So when I got into it, I was kind of like the easy no-brainer, right? But some of y'all where you live at, you guys are going to have to be what we call the trailblazer. Yep. You're going to have to introduce this thing to your city. My brother had to do that. Dornico had to do that. I can name a lot of people that when they spoke about it, the city was like, what is that? And then they had to be the trailblazer from it. I actually put that comment up earlier when you was talking about it. That's another thing, ma'am, that should ease your mind. Yeah. LaShawna just said most of her referrals are coming from what Shay told you just 3 minutes ago to view as your collaboration. They're working together, because everybody that may not be a good fit for me may be perfect for you. Right. What if I don't like Bobby because Bobby likes to drink Kool-Aid in his bedroom? But what if you said, Derek, I don't care nothing about drinking Kool-Aid in the bedroom, as long as he pay that $8.50, then well, you have Bobby. Yeah. And that's how that works, guys. So again, don't view it as, like Shay said, competition. View it as collaboration.
And another good thing about the partnerships, and I want to single that out again about that, LaShonda. I love that, because a lot of times when people don't have beds available, guess what they stop doing? They stop answering the phone. Guess what happens if you stop answering the phone for a case manager or a social worker or someone that needs your assistance to finding a placement? They'll scratch you off their list completely, right off the list. So now these ILF owners and operators are maintaining good relationships by providing great customer service. It's all back to customer service. They're still providing a service to the case manager and the social worker, even though they do not have a bed available. They know LaShonda's not too far up the street. She's got a great house, because I'm sure they walked through it or saw pictures or videos or whatever they did. in their process to make sure that they're sending them to somebody that is a true good example of what they would be providing if that person was being housed in their particular ILF. So just be mindful of that. Collaboration is always going to be is always going to knock it out the park. Okay.
Yep. And again, the need for housing is going to be great no matter where you live at. So it don't matter about competition. We don't care about competition because again, you got something that's needed in your city.
Exactly.
Right? There's thousands of people in your city that need housing, and you're going to be the answer to it. And we want to help you, right?
There's a question here that I want to answer real quick. It says, it's from Product Snob, excuse me. Looking to create the best ways to accept payments in the beginning. Would having a bank account set for deposits only a good option? So what you're going to realize is you're going to need a payment processor either way, unless you're going to be collecting SSI cards and go into the ATM and popping in PIN numbers and going and now depositing that information. A lot of times the population we serve do not have average bank accounts. They literally rely on their direct express cards, right? So you want to have a payment processor, i.e. Stripe, Square, something of that nature that you can connect to your bank account, that once that money is swiped or that card is swiped into the system, it automatically goes into your actual bank account. But as a business, you don't want to commingle funds. So you do not want to start a business and then have all of the money going into your personal business accounts. You are now commingling funds. You're making it harder for your tax professional at the end of the year. It's going to mess up all of your, your deductions that you can possibly get because all of your funds are doing this. They're doing the tango. And you can't separate anything. So definitely you have to start a business, get an EIN, get your entity set up, well, whether it's an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, whatever it is, get an EIN number from the IRS, and then get a business bank account. You need a business bank account because no one, if you get with a community funded program, they will not be writing a check to you. Right. So then you'll be in trouble if somebody writes a check and you have nowhere to deposit it because it will be in the name of your entity. It will not be. They will not. They won't pass go. You will not get paid. You will be housing people for free if you do not have that business bank account. Okay.
And we suggest also Digital Flow Solutions, which is what all of the ILF users use under us. It's an all-in-one platform that's a CRM system. So it includes your website build out, your logo, right? Your business phone line. You can get rid of MailChimp. You can get rid of DocuSign because all of that's in this one system. Yeah. So anybody under my coaching, whether that's the DIY or the one-on-one, I give you that complimentary. Remember, guys, I don't sell websites. I give it to you complimentary. We sell transformation. So your website is on me, right? Whether that's DIY or the one-on-one coaching, we use digitalflowsolutions.net. And that's what every ILF operator should be using. And what's cool about it, no matter the industry or the business, Shay and I own 8 businesses now. And Digital Flow Solutions is running them all. Yeah. It's our phone, it's the website, it's the CRM system, which stands for Customer Relationship Management System, and it's everything that we need to run this business, including workflows, automations, meaning that whole thing at the bottom right now that says text more info to that phone number. I dare 3 of y'all to do that right now. Yeah. And if you're on TikTok and you can only see us right here, make sure you come to YouTube as we getting ready to end. Man, I got hiccups. I'm stuffy. I got everything going on, y'all.
And the T's doing it to you.
So, but text more info, just those 2 words, MOREINFO, to the phone number 407-326-0086. Yeah. Now, I can't keep repeating that number for my TikTok people because they'll ban me. But TikTok people, I've pinned it to the link. Also, TikTok folks, come over to YouTube. TikTok people, come to YouTube right now at Forston Consultants. We're answering questions about how do you do this? Right. And I want you guys to be there. But again, for all of my YouTube people, if you're new to us, make sure you guys text that phrase more info to the phone number that's scrolling below. Fill the form out because that's how you get it. So if you just text it and you do nothing else, you don't get it. You're going to get a text from us. You click that link. Once you do that, bam, you watch that webinar. That's going to also lead to a free call with me and my team. Alvin, I just saw you set up an appointment. Me and you going to be on the phone probably this week, right? So that means you probably watched that webinar already, because if not, my team will see it and they're going to say, hey, Alvin, we see that you didn't watch the webinar. Here it is before your call, because a lot of people will ask me questions that's in the webinar. And I want our conversation to go deeper than what I would call surface level. So our web class is about 50 minutes long, y'all. I give the game away. I can't tell you how many people that gotten started simply from my webinar. So again, you can just text the phrase more info. That's MOREINFO. Yvonne Johnson just did it. And text that to 407-326-0086. And I pinned it in the chat on TikTok. On YouTube, you guys can see that scrolling at the bottom. What I want to do right now is I want to answer some questions, but I want to give a big shout out to Katara. Katara's somebody that we always kind of pick on here in a good way, though, right? We're always celebrating her, but now we're taking it a step further. Shay and I have decided, because Katara has yanked our arm and pulled our arms. Katara wants to drag us to South Carolina. If Katara does that, which she is, who would want to come and see us in South Carolina?
Let's do it.
And what we're saying is, thank to Katara, because Katara told me, Derek, if you come see my people, make it complimentary, no charge. Ooh. So lucky for y'all, Katara got me coming to see y'all free of charge. So my other cities and states, it may not be like that. But South Carolina, stand up, because you guys got next. Yep. So Columbia, don't make me start calling out all the wrong cities now. Orangeburg.
Don't do it.
Don't make me make mistakes now, right? But Katara, you can chime in anytime that you get ready. We are coming to South Carolina, and I'm going to let Katara and Shay kind of pick those dates. But if we come to South Carolina to pour into you guys, who would want to come to that? And then Katara, what we'll do, sis, obviously Shay and I want to walk your ILF. But what if we plan something, Katara, where maybe other people can come and see it?
Yeah.
But only if you say yes to that. So we don't say yes to that, sis, unless you do.
Right.
But Shay and I, that's a must. We want to see it. But what if we add something to where we do a little bit of a tour of your ILF to show people, where in the world did you learn this from? Yeah. Who are your coaches? So I'm going to check the chat, because I'm just talking. If we come to South Carolina, TikTok people saying yes. Who will come if we come to South Carolina to pour into you guys about the independent living facility model? Shay, back on you.
Oh, my back.
Jermaine says, I'm in South Carolina. Tia says, I'm there. Camille says she'll be there. Katara, of course, said I'll be there. Kingstree, I've never heard of Kingstree. How far is Kingstree from Columbia or Orangeburg?
So
let me know, Frankie.
Yeah, while you do that, I want to answer this question. So it says, have you ever had to move clients due to home issues, bad landlord, etc.?
Yes.
Yes, we have. We sure have, on a number of times. Not a whole bunch of times, but a few times we have. The first incident, and I'll share this one without going into grave detail, is it was a husband and wife that owned the property. The husband pretty much oversaw all of the applications for renters, knew what we were doing, was totally excited about it, was hanging out at the house with the residents, and was just really amazing. But his wife couldn't stand it. She was against it, and she pretty much told her husband, I want them out. And
it kicked me out, y'all.
We were paying the rent. We were doing everything. No issues at the property, nothing. But that was their first property, right? That was the property that they loved oh so much, but the wife was against it. They gave us all of our money back. They gave us time to find a new property. They didn't hassle us. She just didn't like the idea. She just didn't like it. The husband, I think it was because the husband was hanging out with the fellas too much. I really think that's what it was. He found company in the residence. Like, he was eating with them. He was hanging out with them. They were playing cards. Like, it just, I think that's what it was. It took her older.
Maybe the wife got lonely.
Yes, because he was an older gentleman, elderly couple. And he found solace hanging out with the gentleman that Derek was housing. And I think that's what she didn't like about it. that he was taken away from the home more so than anything. That was one incident. But again, like I said, they knew what we did. It was just the wife was not happy. And I'm going to be honest, happy wife, happy life. And he was like, listen, I love y'all. And I really love.
But you got to go, Derek.
Derek, I love y'all. But
Derek, if it's between you and my wife, bro, you got to go, D.
Wife, yeah. So that was one incident. Another incident was the landlord just got greedy. We always talk to y'all about the cul-de-sac where we had all of those houses. The landlord saw how successful it was, and he was one of those landlords that he did all of the property management and the maintenance. So he was always around, right? And he just was every year that we renewed our lease, we probably got once that we were able to get a multiple year lease out of him. But once we did that, oh my goodness, baby, he was raising that rent. You hear me? Every year, boy, he didn't waste a second. Boy, within 3 to 6 months of that renewal coming up, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna hit y'all over the head with another $400. And it just got to the point where it was just like, no, because at this point you're abusing the people that we're renting to, because now every year that he goes up, we have to go up. You said turn it off?
On.
It is on.
It's not moving on the screen.
Oh, because you're in widescreen. Yeah. So anyway, that's what caused that. The fact of the matter that he got greedy with it and did not want to stay by his word. You know, he would tell us, no, this is the last time. I'm not going up on the rent. I'm not doing this. And a couple of months later, boy, he was quick to refinance those houses and raise that rent. He was the king of the refi. So yeah, but other than that, those were really the only reasons that we ever left a property. And that was, you know, that was it. But we had the time frame to relocate our residents. And if we didn't, the great thing about it is, again, we collaborated with other housing providers and we were able to rehouse those individuals. So nobody ended up homeless or on the streets. Derek?
Yep.
Back to you.
My concern is only having one home and not having a backup. I'm not sure what you mean there.
The issue, like, what would you think the issue? Where would you think the issue is going to lie? Right? If the homeowner is aware of what you're doing, and you're you know, they know what's going on, the likelihood of you having to leave is slim to none, because their biggest concern is, are you going to keep my property up? Are you going to pay the rent on time? Right? And
that's the main concern. Pay the rent.
You're supplying, as long as you're fulfilling your obligations, I promise you, the landlords could care less. The one, and I'm telling you, the two issues I'm telling you of, the one of them was something that we were able to navigate very quickly. You know, we had other resources in the area and we're able to relocate people fast. Because we're always looking for houses. We don't ever stop looking for houses in this. Even if you don't need a house, right? You're always putting your feelers out there. You're always trying to collaborate with other people that have investors that are looking to do or are looking to rent their properties. So the goal is, don't get stuck in the mindset, and that fear is I'm not going to lie to you, it's an illegitimate fear. Don't allow that to be a fear that holds you from housing somebody that God's called for you to house.
Just get a second house.
Right. And that's it.
We'll cure that real fast, because I'll even add to that, right? The advantage of having multiple houses is that when you do have a bad tenant, sometimes you don't have to kick them out or discharge them. A lot of times you just got to change their scenery, right? So we noticed that if I move Billy from 123 Main Street to 2407 Lemon Court, he's a better guy there than he was at the last place. Right. So that's when I found out that I don't have to kick out everybody every time it's not working. And I can move them and transfer them to another facility of mine, which keeps everything cool. Or like Shay told you earlier, if you built that community around you and those other connections, now you can HRA that person somewhere else and still make $300 from it just by being a referral source.
Right. And then also, Derek, it's more, I think it's more the fear of the homeowner, right? And why Singletary said purchase a home and lease it to your business. That's another option, right? But again, for a lot of people, that may not be their may not be positioned appropriately to do that. So yeah, it's just making sure that you have a clear, defined. You're only going to get evicted if you fail to commit to the agreement, right? It's an agreement. It is a two-party agreement between you and the homeowner or the landlord, and that's how you navigate the space. So don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of that. That's not something I'll tell you to hold. That's not a fear I want you to hold on to. If anything, my fear was getting the residents fast enough to pay the first month's rent. You know what I'm saying? So that was like that, and that wasn't even a fear. It just made me push harder to get the word out about who I am and what I do. And that ended up not
do it
being
afraid. Even if there is fear there, just do it afraid.
Yeah.
Again, guys, trust me, as much as y'all see me yell and talk loud on here, guys, I was nervous too in the beginning. That's a part of it. But you got to trust God, right? I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, I'm no bishop. But I will tell you that you got to trust God during this whole process, because God knows what you're trying to do, right? The devil also know what you're trying to do, and he's going to try to stop it, right? But your job is to have faith and just keep believing in that this dream that God gave you, and put it on God. I got a whole video where I said, all right, God, it's on you now. I rented a house. So God, where the people at? God, these are your people, so send them to me.
You told me to do it, Lord.
Like, that's how I talk to God. I told you I don't pray out. Hey, God, I just talk.
Yeah.
God, you put this dream in my heart, and I went and rented this house. Now, God, let's make this thing happen now, and let's go. Because I want to care for your people and do your will. And God, I want to leave this job of mine too. Make sense, everybody? Yeah. So before we jump to anything else, even before that next question, I'm seeing questions in the chat about the coaching. So who's here ready for the one-on-one coaching? Who wants the one-on-one coaching, the ILF Mastery Blueprint? Who says, Derek, I can probably get by on that DIY? Or who said, well, Derek, I'm new to you, bro, so I'm going to just keep coming for free on YouTube.
Absolutely. But
I want to be a blessing, and I just want to make sure I know who wants the one-on-one coaching for me to hold your hand, right? Let me know in the chat about that. And as we're waiting for that, Shay, read that other question.
Yeah, so the other question is from Jermaine Mills, and they ask, do you guys course come with the scripts to talk to the landlords?
Not only the script. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
well, not only the script, I'm gonna walk you through it. Like I'm gonna verbally tell you tons of times.
And that's
but because I know you gonna forget, I'm gonna give you the script to it. So all of the scripts for the social workers, case managers, your rebuttals, guys, all of that comes through me. Right. And I'm such a great coach. Even when you get that client on the phone, ask anybody in this live today that's under my coaching, what do they do when they get a client that they don't know what to do with?
Yeah.
They call me and put me on the phone. So now I'm talking to that potential resident now, Jermaine. So Jermaine, that day I become your program director. And you're going to say, hey, Chris, this call went good today, but my program director, Mr. Derek, want to talk to you and ask you a couple questions too. So guys, that's why we call it the ILF Mastery Blueprint. We walk you through step by step. And remember what I said. I jokingly say this, but I'm so serious. If you fail under my coaching, because God is all over it and our coaching is 1000% proof, you didn't try hard enough or you gave up. And that's hard to hear for a lot of people in your own 2 ears. But I'm just telling you, the coaching right now is in 39 states. I oversee over 450 of these throughout 39 states. So that means it's possible. 5 of y'all write in the chat, man, Derek, this is possible. This is not theory to where we're talking about what if we're able to do this. Part of y'all excitement tonight should be, wow, this allowed my boy to actually taught other people how to do this in other cities and states where he don't live.
Yeah,
that's what should make y'all most excited, that in 39 other states, our coaching exists.
Yep.
And all you got to do is say, Derek, I'm next, bro. Because I believe in God. I believe in y'all coaching. And Derek, most importantly, I'm going to do the work. Mm-hmm. Because I got the greatest coaching ever. But guess what happens to my coaching if you don't follow it? It's all baloney. It means nothing. So really quickly, who's ready to move forward with the one-on-one coaching? And the one-on-one coaching, guys, is $5,000. It's actually $4,997, and I cover the tax. and it's on sale the entire year. Normally, the one-on-one coaching is $7,500. In January next year, it's going to 10 grand without a doubt, probably 15, but 10 minimum. But this year, until December 31st at 12 a.m., guys, it's only $4,997. There's a lot of people that's already in here, as you see on the screen, that's got the coaching. You think this YouTube stuff good? It's nothing like my one-on-one coaching.
And that 3-day challenge that we just came on.
And that 3-day challenge, Shay, so many people said, Derek, if you never talk to me again, bro, you gave me the complete cheat code in 3 days.
And also to everybody that attended the 3-day challenge, I was made aware that there was an issue with the replay for day 1. So I am actively fixing that. We put so much into that 3-day challenge, y'all. It is over 15 gigs on the first day's video. So I literally have to break it all up and deliver it in segments because of the length of the storage on our system. So I had to break it up.
My TikTok
so
family.
Know that if you open your 3-day challenge replay, you may not see day 1 there, or you may cannot access it by press and play. Give me a couple of days, preferably, give me a couple of days to have that all cut up, because I literally have to go in and edit the videos itself. That day 1 is 15 gigabytes of, that's a lot of storage.
It was 3 to 4 hours a day. So remember, I told you guys, it was like getting a college degree. Instead of 4 years, you got it in 1 year. Mm-hmm. That's what the 3-day challenge was like, y'all. You got the same coach my one-on-one people get over their lifetime in 3 days. Yeah. We gave the recordings and the summaries also coming up. So again, guys, the DIY is only $500. In fact, it's $497. I cover the tax. And the one-on-one coaching, guys, is $4,997. But what I want to do tonight, I want to offer 2 things before we go. One thing I want to offer is you guys $1,000 scholarship to go towards that. And I want to say this really slowly of how you get it. So if you go to forsterconsultants.com, under the tab that says products and services, click on the one-on-one ILF Mastery Blueprint as if you're going to buy it.
Yeah.
When you get to the checkout page, if you enter the word NOW, that's NOW, in the coupon code box, that'll drop $1,000 off right there. That's going to be a cheat code for a lot of y'all. But I want to also do this, as a lot of people in the chat are encouraging y'all, because they got it. They know what the one-on-one coaching is. It's unbelievable, guys. And not because I'm so great. It's because God is all over it.
I keep thinking
about this is the other thing that I want to offer, right? Let's just say there's 2 people in here and you both want it, but maybe you don't have that even with the discount. I'm going to allow people tonight to merge together. So if you say, well, Derek, I got half of it, I want to have you guys maybe type a word or something that can let my team know that I'm going to let you guys merge together. So if you say, well, Derek, I got my half, and somebody said, well, I got my half, Derek. Now you only need 25 and 25, and I merge all together.
Can we do half?
So I think half may have a word already that may be messed up. So I'll say this, text the word tag, TAG. If you want a partner and you say, Derek, I got my 2,500, bro. I just want you to merge me with somebody. Text the word tag to 407-326-0086. And for my TikTok people, that's going to be the same number that's in the chat. I pinned it to the top, because if I keep saying it, they'll kick me out thinking that I'm giving out somebody's private number. But one more time, TikTok, that number is in the chat. It's pinned to the top. And if you text the word tag, TAG, that's it. Don't text your name. Don't put I got my half. Don't put I'm so happy, because it's automated and I want my team to see it. So text the word tag, TAG. If you want to pay half of that $4,997, but you want me to merge you with somebody only for the financial gain of it, you don't even have to be their partner. Right. I'm just going to allow y'all to go in together for the financial part, and then you get your own website, she get her own website, and you never even got to work together if you want to. But if you say, no, Dad, that's my sister, that's my partner, I want to work with her, no problem. Yep. But for the financial part of it, last time, you can text the word now. Oh, excuse me, don't text now. Enter the word now in the coupon box at checkout for $1,000 discount. Or if you say, well, Derek, I want to merge with somebody because I got my 2,500, we're going to also allow you to do that. Back on you, Shay. And that's my blessing that I want to give away for tonight.
That's good stuff. Well, Derek, I think we overdid what we came to do, because we surely said this was probably going to be the fastest room we've ever done, and that was not true.
And as y'all see, man, or hopefully maybe you weren't able to tell, but I struggled through this whole night, y'all. I got some sinus stuff. I probably sound a little funny to most people that's used to hearing me, but I struggled through most of this. Hopefully it was still great information, because y'all know us. We just want to be consistent. Whether we feel good, tired, whatever. Somebody is looking for this, and God put me on assignment over 7 years ago to make sure I come here to do this. So I hope one or two of y'all, you were meant to be here, whether I felt like it or not.
Yeah.
I still fulfilled my assignment, because again, I say, God, if you change my life with this housing model, I'll go all over the world sharing it. So if you just joined me and you missed half of it or all of it, watch this. My name is Derek Forston, and I teach people how to start their own independent living facility, which is just an environment where adults can live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. You don't have to own the property. It doesn't require a license, and there's no $30,000 sprinkler system that you need. And again, the one-on-one coaching is called the ILF Mastery Blueprint, and it's on sale the entire year, Miss Nadine, right? It's usually $7,500. And at the first of the year, it's going to 10 grand. Right now, it's only $4,997, and I cover the tax. No tax included, guys. $3 away from 5 grand. And that's at forstonconsultants.com. And just like I told you guys earlier, all of that stuff that you're going to see that's involved with it, like the website, the CRM, the business telephone, the social media stuff, all the paperwork, all the ebooks, guys, that's complimentary. I don't sell ebooks. I sell transformation.
Yeah.
I'm the guy, and Shay's the lady that you come and see when you're ready to change your life. When you feel like God has called you to this and you feel that unction to move forward, that's when you come and see us. But like we always tell you, get the proper permission first. Talk to God. Talk to your family. And I'm sure God and your family already been talking about this.
Yeah.
For such a time as this, you now run into us. And we want to be the sole responsibility and the reason why you got into this and why you leave your job 3 to 6 months from today. Type the word me in the chat if you can imagine walking off your job 3 to 6 months from today. Type the word me in the chat right now if you imagine that. 3 to 6 months, you ready to go. Or if you got a great job, you stay. But if you anything like me years ago, how many of y'all are ready to go? To do what you've truly been called to do, which is what I call true ministry.
Yeah.
I don't have to be a bishop or a pastor to get into this, to call it ministry, because it involves the love of God, people, social services, and real estate all mixed into one.
That's right.
And that's our ministry, and we want to give it to you. Lucky for you guys, we're not a crab in the bucket, and we love to teach it. Because in fact, South Carolina, you guys are up next.
We'll see y'all soon. We'll be having some dates very soon. Katara,
Mr. Harry, we coming to South Carolina, big bro.
We'll come visit you, Harry.
Shay and our sister Katara gonna get the dates together, but we are absolutely coming to South Carolina.
Yes.
I want to do something to bless you guys, and I'm thinking about making a day 2 or the latter part of that day, maybe a tour of one of the ILFs that are in South Carolina that's been launched under us, whether that's Harry, Katara, or some of you newer people that just got started, or you're going to be under our coaching and you want me to come see you.
Yeah.
Who's in South Carolina right now? You said, Derek, by the time you come, bro, I'm going to be under your coaching. So definitely come by and see me and my family.
I love it.
Other than that, back on you, Shay.
All right. So we're going to wrap up. I'm going to get this guy off of his voice and relaxed and get him something to eat, because I'm hungry too. But no, guys, it's been a phenomenal evening. I'm excited because we not only talked about the ILF framework, we talked about the business mindset and all that you need to kind of really launch yourself out there as an entrepreneur. So I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night with this old gentleman here by my side. You all have a blessed night. And don't forget, we're going to South Carolina. Yeah.
We are going to South Carolina. I want some good food. I'm just saying now. I want some good food. I want some good cake. Right? I'm sure some good sweets. Some good sweet spots down there. So I got a little sweet too, y'all. I'm just telling y'all my little secret. I love sweets.
Macaroons, Katara.
So I love chocolate chip cookies. Macaroons are like my newest favorite, but they're very expensive. But you can get a good chocolate chip cooker from anywhere. Okay. But if you got a good macaroon spot, also let me know about that. What's maybe a great steakhouse? What's maybe a great seafood place? But also some home cooked down south, just home cooked food, maybe. Yeah. Who has that? But other than that, my main mission is to come and drop some game on you all and show another city, another level of people that God has called. Because I'm truly believing that when we do come, I don't want just regular people to come. I'll just admit, excuse me on my ignorance, but I want movers and shakers and people that love God and love people that love real estate. I want those people to come. I don't want skeptics to come. I don't want people that think this is some kind of scam or it ain't real. None of that. People that love God, love people, and love real estate. I also heard that South Carolina is the capital for mobile homes. I want to see some mobile home units when I come down there. Yeah. Who would love to do this from a mobile home standpoint, from a manufactured home? I'm looking at mobile homes every day, y'all, trying to see where I can fit into that niche as well. Because if I can buy one for $3 grand, $2 grand, or $5 grand, that's better than buying a house for 200 grand, right? To do the same mission. So as we get ready to close, make sure you guys follow those prompts that we gave you all. If you want $1,000 scholarship from the one-on-one coaching, just use the word now at checkout. There's a coupon code box. As soon as you type in the word now and then enter, it's going to show you the discount, $1,000 off. But I also want to be super helpful, and I want to allow you guys to split it. So if you said, Derek, I got a business partner, I got a brother or a cousin, or Derek, I met somebody on your TikTok channel, bro, and me and her going to go together. No problem. We'll send y'all separate invoices. Correct. Don't be tricked by nobody, right? We'll send y'all separate invoices and allow you guys to merge together for the cost of it. Yeah. But I'll coach y'all individually if that's how you want it. My name is Derek Forster. I pray that you guys move at the speed of instruction. And I pray that God will bless you in your life, your health, your mind, your body, and bless you financially to do everything that he's called you to do. And I also pray that no devil in hell can stop it. My name is Derek Forster, and I approve this message. And we'll see you guys probably tomorrow at 7 p.m. right back here. If you haven't followed us yet on our YouTube channel, make sure you do that. Also follow us on Instagram,
hit the notification bell,
and Facebook. But also my favorite lately, become my friend. Friend request me at Derek Forster on Facebook, but also join that free Facebook group, which is called the ILF Academy. We're going to take one more commercial break and hear from David and Dennis, and we'll be right back. Hey, David, did you know that you can start your own housing program and it doesn't require you for you to own the property and you do not need a license? So how in the world would you do that? I was always told that you had to own the property and that there was always some kind of special license that you had to get from your city to do this. People always told me that there was lots of red tape to jump through. So you mean to tell me these are also not group homes? It's actually simple. They're called independent living facilities, and Forster Consultants actually created it. They hold the trademark for it. So I follow them religiously on Instagram at Forster Consultants as well as Facebook. And every Monday night at 6 p.m., they actually go live on YouTube at Forster Consultants, and I follow them there as well. So you mean to tell me my dream of becoming this housing provider that I've always dreamt of is closer than I realize? And again, you're telling me I don't need a license and I don't have to own the property. Absolutely. You do not have to own the property. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a CNA, and you can get started as soon as tomorrow. Click the link below for more information.
All right, family. I'm getting
we are back.
Lower and lower in this chair.
We are back, YouTube, and we are signing out. Shay, bless the people. Let them know about any updates that you have, anything going on, and we'll get them out of here.
So, got a lot happening at the Angela Denise Foundation. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, Angela Denise Foundation. We've got a raffle that's going on to help support Our Ladies Spa Day that is also coming up this summer. We are also preparing to launch our course, Know Before You Go Nonprofit. We will be educating you all on how to start a nonprofit organization, giving you all the information, the tools you need to navigate the space of the nonprofit organization. And just looking forward to seeing you all excel in that, right? Those of you that have been thinking about starting a nonprofit organization, going that route of nonprofit, we want to make sure that you get or have the information that's necessary to make the right decision, to know before you go and start a nonprofit organization. So be on the lookout for that. And again, I always appreciate y'all joining us. Have a good night. God bless.
All right. You guys be good, and we'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. Be great.
Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ever ask, think, or imagine, according to God's power that worketh in us. God bless y'all. Amen. Good night.
Amen.
Hey, what's going on, family? I hope you guys are enjoying this information, but just in case if you was wondering, how could you get more one-on-one coaching just like this? First of all, you can ask just by typing it in the chat, or you can visit forstonconsultants.com/IMB. Again, the IMB stands for ILF Mastery Blueprint. So again, if you want one-on-one coaching, let us know. This is exactly what we do. And again, don't spend all your time in this room today without asking questions. As you see, we're giving out a lot of great information. So make sure you ask your questions just to make sure that you fully understand it. And then also don't forget, we give you guys a free strategy call. So we want you to watch our webinar. That's also at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, but also soak up a lot of this information that we're giving you guys on YouTube, and then schedule a free strategy call so that we can get on the phone to talk about how fast can we get you started. Let's get back to the show.